Alright guys, what is going on today? D Creator here, back with another video, and we are going to work on the 1989 Fox body. We are going to put a hydro handbrake so we can have some fun. So I bought this kit. Daniel and Chris, they really helped me out with this. So I got the brake calipers from Daniel. They're just the original Mustang brake calipers that I paint them orange. I feel like they would look good with the purple brake calipers that I have on there already. And then I bought the dual brake caliper brackets from Chris. Chris has the white New Edge. Daniel has used to have the yellow New Edge, the V6. Now he has a black GT. We're gonna go ahead and put these on. And I also got, excuse the mess in here, I literally just got it back running. We also have an hydro handbrake from, you can't really see it, but from Twisted Images, with the Willwood brake reservoir. We also have Scotty D's handbrake mount that really comes in handy whenever you're trying to mount up stuff. You don't have to worry about cutting and welding. It's just pretty much a bolt-on piece, which there's a bolt there, a bolt over there, a couple down here. This is a very, very nice setup. Reason why I didn't record any of this is because it's literally straightforward. You put it where you're comfortable. So steering wheel right here, right here. You just put it where you're most comfortable at. 4 bolts to bolt it in, and then it's 2 bolts to bolt this in. Now, I will be talking about a little bit with this line, because I have the line going through here and then through the transmission tunnel. It comes all the way down here. I got to tie this up, but it comes all the way down here, goes all the way to the back, and there where it splits off at. And there's one piece that's going over here. I got to tie it down right there so it didn't get caught in my spring. There's the connector right there. This goes on this side and comes through here, and there's where this connector is. We're gonna be taking this off, taking this bracket off right here, adding another caliper on this side because there's one on this side already. We'll have dual brake calipers. The handbrake is like a brake pedal, but for my hand. But what we got to do is we got to go ahead and take the wheel off, take both sides off. Then we got to take out the C-clips and the differential for the axles, pull the axles out on both sides. So we'll be able to get this bracket out, this old bracket out, and the dust shield. Once we get that out, we'll be able to install the new bracket and then put everything back together. Let's go ahead and do it because, to be honest, I'm kind of running out of time, which is the story of my life. We're gonna cue the time lapse. And just to go ahead and show you, this is the reason why we got to take the axle out. We can get all 4 of these out. We also can get the dust shield out the way as well. But since there's no separation piece on here, we have to pull the whole axle out in order to get this out because there's no separation piece at all. Let's go ahead, take apart the differential, take the C-clips out of it, and then we'll be able to pull it out, and then we should be good. And just real quick, just letting you know, I am reusing this diff fluid because for one, it's not really that old, and two, right now, I don't really have a place to get differential fluid. And just a little tip, if you want to save the differential fluid, get you like a coolant jug, cut a square out, and then take out all the bolts except for the one at the top. Loosen that one up, and once you loosen that up, just get you a flat head or a pry bar or something like that. I got both just in case, and just kind of pick right here right here in this area. Let me move this gasket out the way. And just kind of pick right there in that area where the lip is, where it can hang up at, right in there. And then eventually it'll start coming up, and then you can work your way around. Then you should be good. You might need a hammer just to persuade a little bit, because the gasket material is actually pretty tough. Just make sure you don't damage your diff. And here it comes. And then you take that last bolt out. You just go ahead and pull your cover out the way. And set it off to the side. I gotta take the little 8mm bolt out that goes into here, pull that out, which is a locking pin for the whole axle. And once I take all that out, I will be able to push in the axle so I can show you what we're removing, which is the C-clip to get this axle out. And be careful, because your spider gears, which is these 4 little small gears up here, will move if you don't have the S-clip right here. If you do have the S-clip, I think it will stay in place. I'm not 100% sure, but let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and get these axles out. To take that 8mm bolt out, what I did was I got my pry tool or whatever, hold up against the studs on the axle itself. Got me a little small 8mm wrench. This is gonna be tight because it's supposed to be locked tight in there. And I just crank down on it. This is your pin. You will need to replace this, but if you can't replace it, you can add some Loctite up on top. I use red. If this comes loose, your whole rear end is done. It's through. So make sure you either replace this or put some red Loctite on it. And go ahead and rotate your axle. Go ahead and pull out the pin. Should come out pretty easy. There it is. The S-clip does hold in your spider gear, so if you're doing a GT or a modified rear end that has this, you should be fine. If you don't have it, be careful. You don't want to move those spider gears around and then lose a bunch of stuff. And I'm sorry guys for the rain. It kind of just started raining out of nowhere. I knew it was supposed to rain today, but I didn't know it was going to be this early. But now that we got it out, what you want to do is push in the axle, and you saw how it moved. You see the little piece right there that's just kind of right there by the splines? That's your C-clip. All you have to do is get a magnet and pull that out. And it's like that on both sides. Let me pull the other side for you so you can see. There it is. So just pull it out, and it's exactly what I said it is. It's a C-clip shaped like a C. So you just gotta rotate the axle until it gets to the point where you can actually pull it out, or you can push it through and it'll fall down through the bottom and you can reach in there and get it. Just make sure it doesn't fall right there where the pinion sits. There's one C-clip right there. So what I did was I got the flathead twisted around and then just moved it out the way to where I can just pull it straight out like that. That's how we're gonna do that with the other side. Make sure you try and pull it as straight as possible, because you don't want to mess up your axle seals by just dragging it out, and you also don't want to damage the inside of the housing. Take these 4 bolts out. Take these 3 bolts out. You should be able to pull this off, this bracket. You should be able to pull this dust shield on. Then I will show you how to put the actual dual brake caliper bracket on there. And there you have it. You could just toss this away because you won't need it. And guys, I forgot to mention this little backing piece. If you don't have longer bolts, don't keep them on there. But I have longer bolts, so I'm gonna keep this on there just so I can have it. As you can see, it is split right here. The reason why I did that is because I want to be able to take this off whenever I go with an 8.8 rear end, because this is a V6 rear end. Same process, but when I do that, I want to be able to take this off without taking out the axle. Make sure you Loctite these bolts. Just make sure you tighten down these bolts in a crisscross pattern, and make sure that everything is set up right. Do a brake caliper bracket on there. All you have to do is do everything back in reverse, except instead of you put on one caliper, you put it on two. Let me go ahead and knock this out real quick, and I'll show you the final results. This is the final product. All right guys, so it's the next day. I ran out of time yesterday. I went ahead and buttoned everything up. The lines are on. Diff is filled with fluid. About to have one of my co-workers bleed my brakes, just like a simple brake job. And what brake fluid I'm using is .4 brake fluid. The reason why I'm using .4 is because it's higher than .3, and the reason why it's higher than .3 is the boiling point of it is a lot higher. And I figured since I'm gonna be drifting, I'm probably gonna pull the handbrake pretty hard. This is from BG. I'm good friends with the owner, Mark Baker. So we're gonna see what we can do here. Put a bunch of towels, shop towels, whatever you want to put, so the fluid doesn't just pour out if you overfilled it. Put a funnel in there and just go ahead and pour your fluid in there, your brake fluid. I'm gonna get my co-worker, and then we're just gonna pump the brakes, which we're gonna pull the brakes, of course. You got it, Holden?
Yeah, okay.
All right, you go ahead and start pumping. And real quick guys, I actually had a small leak where it tees off from the two sides of the brake calipers. Turns out the lines was loose. My other coworker is gone for today, so I don't have anybody else to help me bleed it. There is a way that you can bleed it by yourself, and you see I got the cap, a tube, and the brake fluid. Now what you want to do is make sure this has fluid in it. You want to put it right here, and then you'll be able to crack it loose, and you can watch and see if air bubbles come out, and vice versa, see if the fluid comes back up. Because what you want to do is you want to make sure that nothing but fluid is coming out and there's no air bubbles going back up. Just to make sure there's no air bubbles in it, so you can shut it off and then you can disconnect it. Let's see how well this hydro works. And as you can see guys, they work pretty good. Right now, I can't do anything because I have a couple of cars in my way, so I can't pull them out right now and actually test it out on the road or the street or anything like that. Put everything up, my tools and all that stuff. And then I'm gonna go ahead and head up out of here and come back tomorrow, and we're gonna actually do the test drive. So tomorrow. Alright guys, as you can see, I need more practice. Hopefully my friend Daniel that gave me the brake caliper, the dual brake caliper, brake lines and all that stuff, hopefully I'll get a chance to use his simulator. He has a driving simulator. Hopefully I'll be able to practice on it and get really good at it to where I can actually start doing something in the car versus just practicing a donut, because I clearly need more practice. But hopefully I'll get something done before the next drift event. In January is when they usually start up with Cars and Coffee, Stupid Code, car shows, stuff like that. So hopefully by then I have enough knowledge to actually perform on the track. But until then, go ahead and check out this playlist. This is the build if you're new here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video, okay?